Coming up to 1:30. Thank you for your company. Now, vulnerable children are being left at risk from paedophiles because detectives do not want to jeopardise their investigations. That's according to the police watchdog. It accuses Britain's biggest force, the Metropolitan Police, of making slow progress in child protection and said that it's got acute concerns over how detectives investigate online child abuse and the use of indecent images.
Well, former detective and the founder of the Maggie Oliver Foundation, Maggie Oliver, joins us now. Thank you very much for speaking to us. This is, of course, really difficult and distressing information.
Yeah, it is, Rosie, but it makes me really angry and frustrated because it really is what I've been seeing for the past 15 years. And yet every time we have a new report, we hear the same facts regurgitated. But with my work now at the Maggie Oliver Foundation, we see significant delays across all kinds of sexual abuse cases every day, and we work with victims and advocate for them wherever we can. But we repeatedly hear the same complaints of delays, and in fact, it's relevant to say that because this report focuses on the Met itself, we were actually approached by a serving detective with the Met a few months ago who had serious concerns about the way that the abuse cases that he was trying to deal with were being handled. He spoke to us in confidence, and we've managed to link up with him, and we're trying to work together to bring about changes which are desperately needed.
Without speaking about a specific case, can you just explain to us what some of the problems are that's causing the delay in investigating these types of incidents?
Yeah, well, I mean, what I would say is that there are too few detectives. There has been an absence of adequate training over many years. Detectives have been de-skilled, and there is a massive shortage, but there is, amongst senior officers, there is a repeated insistence that things have got better. But we work very closely with victims and survivors, and they tell us every day that they are in despair about the way that their cases are being handled, and very little has changed. It isn't an isolated incident we're talking about. We are talking about massive failures, and even this report says that 68% of the cases that they examined were inadequate or needed improvement. I mean, there is no excuse at all for police going in to a house where there has been specific information of somebody within that household uploading abusive images. They should go into the family home. That should coincide with an arrest. There should then be a securing of the computers, of all the technology in that house, and there should be a risk assessment by the police and by social services. There should not be delays, because that puts children's lives and safety at risk.
And Maggie, do we have any sense of the scale of this when you talk about children being at risk? Do we have any sense of how many children, how big, frankly, this problem is?
It's a massive problem, and it doesn't give me any pleasure, Darren, to say that. But, I can only go on what we hear every single day at the foundation. We have cases. I mean, I could give you a catalogue of individual cases where the authorities are failing to act in the way that they should be to prevent abuse, to protect children. We had a recent case where we were sent images, abusive images that had come from a member of the public concerned about a child. We were told that we must not pass those images on to the National League, because we ourselves could be at risk of promoting abuse. Well, we were told to hold on and wait for the police force to contact us. That puts a child at risk. We need to act immediately. We are aware that there may be a child at risk, and there is no excuse for not acting. But, lack of resources, lack of training, untrained or the wrong officers dealing with abuse is a thing that we can repeatedly see. I mean, in GMP, a couple of years ago, they closed down the Serious Sexual Offences Unit. And these kind of crimes were sent to neighbourhood policing teams. That in itself is a problem, because those officers are snowed under with the day-to-day jobs that come in. These investigations take specialist skills, they take time, they take commitment, and individual officers can't do the jobs they're meant to do if the senior officers don't give them the support, don't give them the resources, and don't give them the time to do those investigations. The work that we are doing with the Med, you know, the officer that approached us was being blocked at a senior level from taking action. They are the kind of changes that we need. We don't need more reports telling us what we already know. You know, we get a report, we get horror, and then we get nothing. That must change if we are going to change the way that we deal with child abuse, whether it's online or whether it's in person.
I can understand.